I'm glad the interest rates went up.
Facts. I think it's wiping out a lot of like the random people, so investing is going to become easier. If you're buying numbers on today's value and not buying it, you know, assuming that it's going to go up another 10% 6 months from now, you're going to be all right.
How long have you had this idea, bro?
So I've been thinking about doing this book tour for a couple years now, and just never did it. But you know, when you see like the rappers, you know, put out their list of cities, I was like, man, wouldn't that be cool to like go out and do as an entrepreneur? Just never had the time or, you know, the full desire to do it. And then about 4 months ago, I saw somebody else go on tour. I was like, all right, I'm going on tour. Another rapper go on tour. So I hit on my team, and we planned a 10-city book tour, 10 cities in 13 days. So this is stop number 8. And as you can see, we kind of got the setup process down packed right now. Still today, 9 out of 10 people I talk to don't know it exists.
Yeah, I don't know about it.
I'd be like, yo, I always wanted to do this. Every time you buy a rental property, your income increases. So literally you cannot not buy rentals because your debt to income ratio becomes better every time you buy a rental property. So it becomes easier to buy rentals the more rentals that you own. So yeah, absolutely, go refi with a bank. For sure.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, trying to learn how to get into the game. A lot of people driving in, you know, hours and hours away. And at the end of the day, like people just need, I feel like everybody's at that cliff of life and people just need a little to get over the edge. That's what I feel like a lot of people are. They're ready to rock, but they need that little extra motivation to get going. So we're just in here trying to provide motivation and change people's lives. If I pay somebody $2,000, it's $2,000 less that's in my own pocket. I'm trying to keep as much money in here as possible, right? So with private money, they don't even know what points are. Don't say like, hey, how many points would you like? Well, what's points? Well, points are where you make more money. Well, I want 10 points, right? so like, don't even, it's not even something you mention. If somebody asks, then you can have that conversation. My goal is to never pay points. My first deal when I raised money, I raised it at 12% and 2 points. So it wasn't like the end of the world, but like ideally you don't want to pay points. So over time, you know, I very rarely pay points, only when I have to. But like 0's great, 1's doable, 2's okay. If you're paying like 5 or 7 points, you got to find another lender as quickly as possible. Do the deal, start finding another lender. So points, don't really want to do. And then this one's huge. Make sure you understand this. With hard money, when you borrow money, and usually with most private money lenders, if you do this the wrong way, let's say you borrow $200,000 at 12% interest. It's $24,000 a year of interest payments that have to go out. So every month, you're writing a $2,000 check just to pay for the interest payments, right? Let's say you have 10 deals or 5 deals going at any given time. It's $10,000 a month just for interest going out the door every single month. Does anybody in this room know the only reason, and there's only one, the only reason businesses go bankrupt? Serious question. Does anybody know that answer? Kind of, yes. It's lack. Kind of. My fiance, she's been in, this is the 8th time she's heard this. Lack of cash flow is the only reason businesses go bankrupt.
Viral, people get Winter Street tattoos. Some of you might have lost your job. Some coronavirus might have shut some of you down as well. She hits me with a Zelle and she said, Wes, chill out. Every time you get to this space, because she had seen me since business number 2, every time you get to this space, you freak out and you go to try to find another industry.
My name is Renard. I'm an investor out of Durham, North Carolina, and we were doing wholesale for primarily 3 years. We've been in business for 4 years now. I have been got my partner who's here in the Charlotte market as well. And now we've been raising money, but some of my confidence for raising money is around the contractor thing. It's like, I just don't want to lose.
Don't read the headlines, because if you do, you're going to get left behind in everything that happens. It's scare tactics. It's a 24-hour news cycle. They got to make up shit.
Facts.
Like, read it. When they say this is the greatest recession, greatest 1 month uptick in inflation since 1981. Look at the numbers. A 98% increase. Oh, it went up 2 points. Like, that doesn't affect the everyday person. I'm glad the interest rates went up.
Facts. I think it's wiping out a lot of like the random people. So investing is going to become easier. If you're buying numbers on today's value and not buying it, assuming that it's going to go up another 10% 6 months from now, you're going to be all right. And if you're buying it with cash flow, again, lack of cash flow is what causes problems. If you have cash flow, you're going to be good at the end of the day.
The most important piece for me now is to connect with guys like this to jump into opportunities that they're involved in. So whether it be events or potentially looking at other business models that we could get into, I'm leaning into network.
You notice the trend? Money is still looking for a deal.
Facts. Facts.
It's like the third time he said it. He has money and he don't have the deals. Bring him the damn deals.
Agreed.
And that's with everybody else.
So I just have a question for like you guys and your teams. Do you guys have real estate agents on your team?
Absolutely.
And if you do, what are their roles in this realm of the business? Because obviously it's a little bit different than just being traditional selling buyers and sellers. Like what exactly is their roles?
I mean, there's multiple ways they can work in. So like I got licensed before I became an investor because I thought that was the way to make money. Hated it. So then became an investor. But at the first few deals that I did, I listed them to save money. And then I realized my time was better spent elsewhere. So, I haven't used my license I'm still licensed today. I haven't used it in probably 5 years. So anytime I buy, I use a realtor. Anytime I sell, I use a realtor. And then when you have all these leads coming in, retail-ready leads, especially since I'm licensed, you can get kickback, referral commissions. So referring that out as well. And if I wasn't licensed, have somebody in on your team that can get that referral commission as well.
So as a licensed agent, diversify your skills, right? So Francis, I don't know if you guys know Francis, he's on my team. He's been an agent for 20 years, but he works only with investors. And when I first started, I met him. He's my right hand when it comes to construction. He's from Peru. He knows Spanish. I don't know Spanish, so he speaks to all the contractors, right? And so diversify your skills other than being a buyer's agent or seller's agent. Because if you stick to that, agents are already gonna go away, period. It's happening. Just because you got the 1% of Redfins, you got all these other people that are gonna, so become an expert at something other than turning in contracts and listing things on the MLS. And do that, become valuable. If you look at Jordan, his value is that he can come in the house, tell you what it's gonna cost to do X, Y, Z, and he can decorate the damn thing. You think that big ass dude with a beard knows how to do decorations? He does, right? And so become more valuable, and the more value you become as a real estate expert instead of just a licensed agent, you'll run with a pile of money.
So the reason I stopped listing my houses is because the buyer's agent came in to buy it and talk shit because every single house I did was the exact same. And I was doing higher end houses at the time. And she's like, why do you keep doing the same thing? I was like, because I'm not going to the store. She's like, I'll go to the store. I said, okay, cool. You manage the whole rehab, design it, meet the contractors, then I'll pay you a commission. So that's adding more value than just listing the house.
My business is built on partnerships. So Jordan is our licensed real estate agent, lists everything we've got. We hand everything off to him. He's Marshawn Lynch. Seattle should have given Marshawn Lynch the ball on the 1 yard line. I don't know what they were doing.
Before I get to my question, I just want to give you thanks for coming out here. You really helped me out.
For sure.
And I just really appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother.
Okay, so my question is, how do you find private lenders or advertise to private lenders leveraging your social media?
So that's a great question. It's something you got to be very careful with. I'm probably actually going to add this to the speech for the next 2 cities. So you can't publicly announce that you're raising capital, right? It's an SEC type of thing. So you never want to make a post on Instagram hey, I'm paying 12% for 300 grand, DM me. That's a public offering, and you can't do that unless you're a registered fund. But you can use examples. So you can use an example of what you've done or what somebody that you know's done. Hey, we just sold this deal. I made 50 grand. We bought it for 100, put 50 into it, sold it for 250. I walked with 50K in profit. My lender, who didn't lift a finger, all he had to do was send a wire, made $12,000 in interest payments, and just leave it at that. And then if you do that enough, someone's going to comment and be like, the lender, how does that work? Then you can DM them, or they're going to DM you. So you can't lead with an offer to solicit money, but you can give examples 1,000%. But again, when you word it as an example, not as an ask. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
The cool thing with rooms, if you're out, at a steakhouse, it's way harder to network. But if you're here, people are here to network. So everybody has the same nerves, and they just don't talk. Right. But the second somebody talks, like, oh yeah, how are you? So like, especially rooms like this, like networking is, you just gotta go. You know, out in public, you know, I can get it's kind of weird. But again, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. Pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Absolutely, likewise. Turnout was dope, room was packed, and definitely coming out on Saturday was mad love, and hopefully be back soon, connect with y'all again. Break down, we set up,
Man,
we
look,
do all that
this is the
shit.
guy, no, look, he puts his own, look, come on. Let me help you break this down, man.
Right.
I'm not gonna let you do this alone, man. Golly. Nah, that's what's up.
Hey, you good?
No, seriously, I'll help you, man. What's up? Look, I know this one's gonna get.
Hey, listen, I'm here for it.
Huh?
We got pop it down. So you know most of the people in here? You know most of the people in here?
No, man. Actually, like I said, I'm not a.
How'd you hear about this? Are we connected on social or?
Yeah. I found out about it, but then, you know, Christian, I think she's your student too.
Yep.
And what we did, I mean, I told her I was coming down here, and you know, she told me that, you know, she been liking your teaching because.
All right, guys, so the book tour is amazing. I got the opportunity to speak with my boy Austin here in Charlotte. He's on a tour with Empora, partnering with Empora. Empora is going to be a title company that's going to be launching here in Charlotte soon. And he shifted my mindset in this way. I've been in this business for a little while. First year did 1.875 million in wholesale deals. So I'm not new to this. I'm a little bit true to this. The difference was me elevating the way that I was thinking into attracting buyers instead of attracting just deals. So in reading his book, what it allowed me to do was take less of my focus on finding more deals and more of my focus on finding private capital. Immediately, as I was reading his book, line by line, people in my network, faces started coming up in my mind. So first individual I started to reach out to, Corey LaJoy, NASCAR driver. Shout out Corey LaJoy. Brought 30 grand to the business on deal one, is now, you know, 6 figures in, deep into the business as we continue to scale up on just bringing more and more private capital into the business based on Austin's techniques. So grab the book, get out, connect with Austin, and if you're in Charlotte, pull up on me. I'm Wes Knight, at Wesley T. Knight on Instagram. Hope to connect with you guys. Appreciate everything you guys are doing.
Time to slide out, time to ride out.
Human Tetris.
If you got a book, I might take one along. I'm not much of a reader. I'd rather have a DVD, but
I'll tell you Bluetooth,
okay.
You want a free house, huh?
Well, I already own a house, but I know there's always a catch to some. They say if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But hey, I'm open to learn, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not much of a reader, but I would love to see a DVD or something. And simple guide to creating life-changing wealth without using your own money. Interesting.
Yeah.
It's all good.
This is the Free Houses movie, man.
My fiance, my boss is calling me. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Enjoy.